Alright, so Destiny 2 actually used to be a really different game. So many things have actually been removed from Destiny 2 in its life cycle. But lucky for us, Bungie actually have a website where they tell us literally everything they've deleted from the game. I actually wanted to put all of this into one video so you guys could just look at it and experience all of the content that used to be in the game. I didn't have all the recordings that I needed to make the video myself, so I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos, but huge shout out to every single YouTuber that I watched. I couldn't have done it without all of you guys. All their links will be in the description and throughout the video. Okay, so first up is the Red War campaign. I never really know what to say about the Red War campaign. I thought at the start of it was actually really cool, and like I remember when it first came out, it actually was really exciting because it was a brand new Destiny game. The tower's getting attacked by the Cabal, all your vaults are destroyed so you don't have any of the loot that you had from the previous game. Now this entire campaign has been completely removed from the game, and all we got left is the EDZ and Nessus. So eventually we get to Titan, and this is where I started to get depressed when I was trying to record the video, because, you know, they brought Titan back recently, and then they just fucking got rid of it straight away. And they didn't bring back the strike. Anyway, it's fine. So I thought Titan was actually a really cool location and had this underground sort of section you could go in, and you'd go like under the methane. I love the patrol zone, like the big open. Dude, the patrol zone was so cool. Fuck. Anyway, at the end of Titan, you actually go to where the Ghost of the Deep dungeon starts, which I thought was actually a pretty cool part. But yeah, Titan was the home of the Titans or something, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but we're going to go with that. And you meet up with Zavalo there, and then, yeah, there's this really cool strike on it where you fight Savathun's big-ass Streaker. This is when double primaries is the thing as well. The sniper is actually a heavy weapon right now. Alright, so next up was Io. Io had some really cool things on it.
The blue substance oozing from the cracks in the ground. That's the Traveler's raw energy.
I just love exploring this game and like going around patrolling around. So like I'm really sad Io's not in the game anymore. Honestly, this just gives me depression. That is fucking sick. That's one of those darkness pyramids on the right as well. I didn't actually realise they were here this early. The skybox is so cool here. There were 2 strikes on Io. The first one, the Pyramidian, oh, so cool. Oh, wow, oh, yeah, nice. The Pyramidian strike was one of the coolest strike designs we've ever had, in my opinion. I remember getting smacked by those a few times. And the final boss was this like big ass hobgoblin, which we hadn't actually seen before. He was basically like a giant hobgoblin. Actually a really cool boss. I remember him being a fucking pain in the ass, so his sniper would just like one-shot you on the Nightfall. The next strike was called the Festering Core. I didn't actually really play this strike, to be honest. I'm not sure when it was added, but it had some pretty cool little spots in it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about the Festering Core. Strange name. Taken boss. It looked pretty cool. Io was actually the location where you originally started the Whisper of the Worm mission as well, which actually was going to be in this video, but yeah, we got it back. The final thing removed from Red War campaign that I really liked was actually the final boss fight. I just thought the boss arena was pretty cool, and Ghaul wasn't the greatest boss, but you know, but killing him was pretty fun. This is also when they originally revealed the Darkness Pyramids. Okay, so next up was the Leviathan. Now, I actually really liked Leviathan. I do have a lot of fond memories on it. I thought the intro sequence and scenery was awesome. There was a lot of mazy sort of sections to it. You know, you could make your way around the whole raid. There was like all these tunnels around that would like connect all the sections. So you could actually go to a section in like any order, but you had to do the last boss last. There were 4 encounters. Don't expect me to know much about the mechanics on any of them because I have the memory of a goldfish. I had a lot of terrible times on the gauntlet section. I remember on the day 1, our team just being stuck on this raid for 8 hours and me losing my fucking mind.
Oh, dude, I got a midnight.
Oh, this part. I like this part, actually. I'm so glad you're showing this. Oh my god, I used to f around up here all the time.
One of those coin rings, dude.
You just always slid on it. Man. This raid changed it up a lot when it came to mechanics. Like the dog section I thought was really unique, how you had to like sneak around and you had people watching you from above. This room was so cool. I had such a horrible time on day one on this thing. And we were like, you know, when you spend 8 hours on a raid, you're all against each other by the end of it. Like, the tension is high. Everyone just wants to finish it and get off. But Callus was actually really cool. I liked the part where you would teleport into that other arena and his fucking big head was there and he'd shoot all these little skulls at you. And also the reveal that he was a robot. I thought that was actually really cool. Overall, Leviathan, very sad to see it gone. It actually was a really cool area. They brought it back for like that haunting event recently or whatever, however recently. I think that was like 2 years ago now. But yeah, it came back and then they got rid of it again, and you can actually still see it in the skybox on the moon. So you can pretend it's still in the game. Alright, so next up is the Curse of Osiris DLC. This one actually really hurts me to watch. I love just exploring on Destiny. It's kind of actually my favorite thing to do instead of like playing the game and shoot. Like, I just like to well skate around everywhere and just explore the game. And Mercury had some super cool locations on it. Even the main hub area is really cool.
It is time yet again for Nightfall scoring. I know. Keep it in the pants.
They had this infinite forest area which would just like randomly change, and I cannot handle that this area isn't in the game. Oh, the strike on this, a garden world. Oh my god, it's so cool, man. Like this super like open yellow pink forest thing, like awesome, dude. And this boss was super unique as well, like a big ass Cyclops. We hadn't seen that before.
He's one shot.
It also had one other strike, which took you through the infinite forest. Oh, no! Oh, I feel the pain. I feel the pain. I feel the pain. What? That area looked sick. I hate this. The other strike actually had this boss at the end, and I did actually think this was really cool. At the end of the strike, like a big Vex Minotaur pops up. It's like, oh, that's the boss. But then the Cabal commander just jumps down and fucking stomps his head in. Alright, so next up was the Eater of Worlds. First ever raid lair in Destiny. Oh, that was like a really satisfying lineup, honestly. This part's super cool. I just love the environment design in this part. So basically a raid lair was like a raid, except smaller, I guess. Now this section was a pretty cool puzzle. I really like the look of the room. But basically, the plates come up one by one, and your whole team has to jump from each plate to the next, but no more than one player can be on each plate. This part was fun, but it could be a bit painful on LFG sometimes. Oh, that Midnight Cube sound, man. So we come over to Broman here because Glad left the game, so he wasn't there for this part, and this is one of my favorite parts.
Oh, yeah, oh no, we're gonna become the bullet.
Yeah, we look like this is absolutely a fucking gun.
It's gonna launch us.
Yeah, so I love this area. This area is fucking like... Oh, you're getting launched out of the Leviathan, I think, and into space. So the Leviathan, like, traveled to this area. As you can see, the backdrop there, just that looks so sick. It's really sad that this isn't in the game anymore. This was such a cool, short, and fun little raid. Argos. Look at all those orbs there. I think this is going to be an absolute melt. Might all be on Nighthawk or something. Darcy DPS, what? Wow, look at all these Nighthawks. Holy shit. And there goes Argos. Alright, next up is the Warmind DLC. Now, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I think you can argue that this DLC was actually the thing that started to save Destiny 2, because when Destiny 2 came out, it was like Destiny 1 except worse. Like, I mean... Let's admit it, it was Destiny 1, except double primaries. And they added this new Valkyrie weapon to it. Dude, that thing was so satisfying, like the sound it made when you threw it, oh shit. But yeah, the big bad guy in this was this giant hive worm guy. Like, this was a strike boss, and it felt like a fucking raid boss. I feel like this guy definitely could have been a raid boss. I'm surprised they haven't reused it. That's a shot right there. And the other strike was called Strange Terrain, and it was actually this really short strike. Got a 3-minute and 4-second speed run here. And this was actually in the campaign, so both the strikes on Mars are actually campaign missions. What, the boss got fucking one-shotted? Alright, next up was the Escalation Protocol activity. Now, this was the main attraction of the entire DLC. This is what everyone was doing because of the 3 weapons you could get from it. The Ikelos Sniper, the Ikelos Shotgun, and the Ikelos SMG. All of these were overpowered as f***. You basically had to fight 7 waves of enemies, and if you died or failed a wave, you would go back 1 wave. But on wave 7, you got a chance at the drops. But that shotgun, man, that shotgun was crazy. Trench Barrel gave you 50% damage bonus for 5 seconds instead of 3 bullets, so with the Bottomless Clip Lunafaction Boots Rift, you could just empty the whole shotgun into the boss, and they were fucked. So next up we got Spire of Stars. Now, didn't actually really play Spire of Stars nearly at all. I actually have only beat it 1 time. But this raid was known as the hardest raid in Destiny history. There was a pretty cool puzzle section in the middle that I actually thought looked pretty fun, and definitely would have been fun to mess around with Mountaintop and Wellsgate here. Day 1 was a big struggle for people on this raid. It took over 6 hours for the first team to finish this raid, and there were only 3 encounters in it. So many teams got stuck on the final boss, and his final stand was absolutely brutal. To this day, this is still the least completed raid in Destiny 2 history. Alright, so next up is probably the hardest hitting one, honestly, which is the entire fucking Forsaken campaign. The DLC that saved Destiny 2, like it literally, without this DLC, without a DLC like this, Destiny 2 likely would have just been fucking thrown in the bin. This amazing DLC just comes out, full campaign that was actually good. Yeah, so in the story, you had to hunt down 8 of Aldrin's Barons. Some of these missions were actually really cool. Like one, you fought Scorn on a Dreg. You fought a Scorn on a Pike, which was different. Probably my favorite one, you went inside a Hive ship, and it just was very reminiscent of Taken King. You fought like a Fallen with a Hive helmet on in the Ascendant Plane, which was cool. And then the final boss was like similar to the final boss of the Warlord's Ruin dungeon. He was like this big fucking weird dude. Big weird dude. There were 2 strikes in Forsaken that were vaulted. The first strike was like super hard and terrible.
We've got Screeves.
There's a modifier for it that made the Screebs really small Screebs. And they'll just run at you and yeah, just you up like this. These tiny ass little Screebs. There was one right there, right below him. Yeah, instantly kill you. And the other strike was the Broodhold, which was actually this really quick strike. I found a speed run of it done in 3 minutes 46 seconds. But this was a pretty cool strike. You kill like this witch who would separate herself into 2 versions of herself. I don't know. Really cool. Next up is the Scourge of the Past raid. I didn't get to play this raid very much, so unfortunately I can't say heaps about it. I didn't actually play it at all. Starts off in the city, and there's some cool scenery and stuff around, which I liked a lot. There was this little sparrow section in the middle. This was a highly regarded raid from the Destiny community, and was actually the raid that added anarchy to the game, along with the always on time sparrow, which up until recently was the fastest sparrow in the entire game. And the final boss looked awesome. It was this big like mech fallen dude. There was a lot of good stuff about this raid. Next up is the Crown of Sorrow raid lair. Now, I really wish this one was still in the game because this looks so sick. Once again, I didn't actually get to play this, so it's kind of like depressing in its own way because I never actually got to experience it at all. But this raid looks sick. I just really like the scenery on this raid, like the look of things. And that final boss looks so fun. He was like this, I think he was a Cabal with the Hive helmet on. Once again, people just wearing 5 helmets and tripping out. And I don't know, the boss arena just looks so sick. His design was so sick. He was like a unique enemy, you know, because we don't actually get unique enemies that often in Destiny. So he was really unique, I thought, and really sad that I couldn't experience that one. Alright, so that's all the best content in Destiny, but I'm going to add an honourable mentions section here, because I missed out on a lot of this extra content here, but my friend Howard has hooked me up with the best content that I missed out. So these are the honourable mentions. Alright, so first up we have the Harbinger exotic mission. This mission was really interesting, because she went along where the dam was in the Lake of Shadows Strike. What? Oh, I didn't know you could go all the way down here. Oh, this is actually really cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, so this was the exotic mission that you did to get the Hawk Moon at the time. I never did this mission. Next up after that was the Tribute Hall. I am really sad I never got to play the Tribute Hall because it just looked like the perfect shooting range. Like, you had infinite ammo types for all your weapons, just like right there whenever you wanted it. And there was just a simulated enemy there, and you could shoot them with anything. Like, really sad that they got rid of this. I feel like they should never have gotten rid of this. And the final thing was the Black Armory Forges. I heard a lot of good things about Black Armory. I did never actually play it, but apparently the weapons in it were really good. This is actually where you originally got the Blast Furnace and the Hammerhead, the new weapons added to Onslaught. Alright, so that's all the best vaulted content in Destiny 2. This is probably the last video I'm ever going to make on the content vault from Destiny. As much fun as I did have editing this, it was also torture looking back at all the content that's been removed. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more Destiny content, leave a like. Later.